Hey everybody, it's Free to Play Bust. We're continuing the run up to Masters and Constructed. Currently about halfway through Diamond 3, and we're still playing this Jinx Professor Yipp deck. It's the same list as from yesterday, except I took out the 2 Boom Crew rookies. I got a Epic Wildcard and got the 3rd Experimenter, and then I also added in Ravenous Butcher. Kind of wanting to get more Ravenous Butchers in here. The decks with the Shadowlands fearsome decks are getting pretty popular. I don't know what they're actually called, but they're playing all the fearsome spiders, the Mistwraiths. That whole package is getting very popular now. It's really kind of taken over from the Elusives deck, and having that 3 power is pretty important in getting trades, since we aren't really doing things until turn 5 and 6 when we really get our Jinx and Professor Von Yipp online. Just a kind of quick heads up on how this typically runs. We are playing a shitload of 1 and 2 drops, but this is not an aggressive deck. We're basically just trying to dump our whole hand until we get to turn 4 or 5 to where we can really start getting Jinx and Yipp online. And so it's not, we'll do quite a bit of attacking early, but we're not really trying to burn our opponent down like a Noxus deck would. And then what you'll tend to find also is we rarely attack with Jinx. The board has to be pretty safe for us to want to get attacks in with Jinx. What tends to happen is we just play Jinx, get her flipped, and then we just try to make Super Mega Death Rockets every turn. We usually close out the game with the Death Rockets, and then usually you'll dome them with 2 or 3 Death Rockets and then get in 1 final attack. But yeah, if you caught yesterday's video, this is pretty similar to what we were doing. And let's go ahead and get some games in, see if we can't get up to Diamond 2 today. Okay, and the way we typically run these hands is if we don't have Yipp or Jinx in it, we just mulligan everything. We hard mulligan for Von Yipp and Jinx. And with this hand, Jury Rig plays extremely well with Von Yipp, and so we're definitely looking to keep it. I'm just going to keep the whole thing here. It just, whenever we typically will end up banking a lot of spell mana on turn 3. And so it's very common to where we play a 1-drop, we play a 2-drop, we play nothing on turn 3 to bank all that spell mana, and then on turn 4, like this turn 4, we're definitely just going to play Yipp and 2 Jerry Rigs.
I know what lurks in the shadows.
Sturdy blades,
That's fine.
custom made.
Let's test my theory.
We'll take any level of interaction he'll give us here. I'm not quite used to seeing Elites running with Zed, but maybe it's something new for us here. Okay, I'm cool with him trackering anything. We're just going to save up all our spell mana. We could hold back on the Jerry Rigs a little bit to just get that little bit of value out of the Sump Dredger, but I'm not super worried about that. This thing being a 3/3 is going to be pretty annoying. That's fine. I don't really want him contesting our Von Yipps. Kitty's going bonkers today. I don't know if that's coming through the microphone or not. But yeah, here we'll bank all this spell mana. We're going to get Von Yipp down. We'll make a 3/3 here. We'll make a 3/3 here. We'll attack with Elise, and that'll make another 3/3. And then we'll really just look to be dumping our whole hand on the board to get this Jinx split.
Right.
That's going to be a problem. So we'll need to get all the value out of this Von Yipp as we can right now. And I have to assume he's going to just block Elise with this 3/3. and so I think that's okay. I can get him with the spider too. You do kind of run into problems where your board gets full and you can't play anything behind Jinx. Because you have the 6 units and you can't get death rockets down. That's super good for us. We really want to keep this Von Yipp protected. There you go. He's going to keep one of those back. Okay, and that's all fine. As we mentioned before, Elise is not like a real key component to the deck. We aren't doing Elise things where we're trying to get challengers down. She's just extremely efficient. And as you can see on that turn, that was a pretty efficient round. She was 2-3 and made a 3-3. And here, I'm kind of leery to get Jinx down now. I'm probably just going to play her next turn and then just not attack with her. Here, I don't want the Aristocrat. If we had Von Yipp, we'd be more interested in him being a 3-3 and dying and making a 3-3 on the Death Rattle. But it's not super important here. I'd like to get Warden's Prey down and see if we can't pick up a reasonable less breath unit. These double Battlesmiths are pretty scary. We're going to need to get these Death Rockets going. Okay, so we're definitely... I think we're just going to attack with everything here. We want our Warden's Prey to die so that we can play Jinx and then discard his thing to get excited. But I may have needed to hold the spider back to try to get him to block with everything. He's just going to leave this alone. That's fine. As it stands right now, we should be able to... we're going to play Jinx here. We should be able to Death Rocket on his turn and then do it again on our turn. We're really just kind of scared of like 4 Demacia here.
Just you and me, fishbones.
Take my moment to say this is real annoying that you can't play these forced discard cards. Like to go ahead and make that point every single video. We're going to be behind a Death Rocket now. But I think we should be kind of okay here. He doesn't... That could be a problem if that hits. Probably will. Yeah. And then we have to empty our hand this turn.
Fall to our standard.
We will not hesitate.
One way to test them out.
I think I'm gonna have to flip Jinx and block one of these Battlesmiths. But that will turn on Death Rocket for us. Because this Battlesmith will die, we'll pick up a last breath and then be able to play our last unit. Let's see here. I'm just going to shoot this one with the Death Rocket. And then we just have to prevent as much damage as possible from there. If he has a combat trick, we're just going to lose, but I think we would probably just lose anyways.
Less thinking, more pew-pewing. I'm on a roll.
So assuming he doesn't kill our Jinx, maybe we shouldn't have blocked with Jinx. How much would that have been? Would have probably been okay. As long as we don't draw the discard guy. Okay, so we should be able to just Death Rocket him out this game.
What's that noise?
Why didn't I pick one up? Oh, that's not good. I thought I would get a Death Rocket out of that. Okay, Mystic Shot will do it.
Now it's a party.
Perhaps we should pause for thought.
I don't think he has a way to gain life here. We're just never getting in combat.
I'm actually here.
This is one of the big reasons I'm pretty excited about having these non-combat related things, Mystic Shot and Get Excited. Just being able to go face with it and not have to deal with being in combat to get the bonuses out of it. Okay, good deal. This deck tends to be a problem. We just really can't answer their top end. We have a big problem with Darius, we have a big problem with Rasa. Let's see how this goes. I think I'm okay with keeping this whole thing again. It doesn't have a 1-drop, but I do like keeping Mark of the Owls. I mean, it technically has a 1-drop, but we're not going to play this on turn 1. I think we're okay with keeping this. But all in all, this is not a great hand. Him not having a 1-drop is pretty huge. So we should be able to get in with our Elise now for some reasonable value. If he plays the 3-2 Fearsome, I'm okay with just trading. But there's a lot of units in his deck that just don't interact with Elise on this turn. That's fine. We'll see if he blocks, we're okay with it. We're really just trying to keep his board as empty as possible. We really need a few turns to get Yipp and Jinx going, and so as long as he's not able to crash back into us, it's usually pretty okay. These Mark of the Owls aren't super great here, but they do let us block his Fearsomes, which is one of the big reasons they've been pretty good in this. We'll definitely trade with this. We can get Yipp down next turn, and we'll have that 3 spell mana banked, so we should be able to play Yipp, play Jerry Rig, and play Valfeast to get a bunch of 3/3s on the board. Okay, let's see if he presents any units. There is a good chance this just gets Blackspeared here, but he doesn't really have a whole lot going on, it seems. It'd be pretty sweet if we could get a value play out of this Valfeast this turn. Cool. He might get Blackspeared after we kill this unit, but we can still burst down Jerry Rig. That does kind of keep him from getting complete aggression here. I think interesting. Like, we can just Mark of the Owls this. We are going to be just losing our whole hand here in 2 turns, and this will at least give us a 3/3 and a big attacker. That seems to be a little bit more valuable than just getting the second 3/3 down.
Don't touch that.
Sure.
I tell you.
So all in all, this game's gone pretty well. As I mentioned, the big problem is getting like a flipped Darius. We just can't really do anything about. And so getting to this stage of the game without our units dying is, or without really dying, is pretty good. I'm willing to make this trade as well. I do want to go ahead. I do want to kind of end with 3 spell mana. so I think I'll let this spider stick around, but then I'm going to kill his Elise.
Nothing but a footnote.
If it comes down to it and she survives, we can just target it with the Experimenter. But we do have, I think you have to have a unit in play for this. No, you don't have to have a unit for this one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and do it.
What's the worst that could happen? Immerse yourself in the unknown.
Not a real exciting set of cards we picked up, but better than what we had. We'll just have to pass over here. We can't do anything about this. Sure. But this is the kind of the stage of the game we really need either a Jinx or a Yipp. He's going to start playing Rassas and that giant dude that takes half your health. We don't really have good answers to that stuff right now. I wanted to play him first. I'm more interested in getting the Last Breath unit than I am in getting a value block on one of these 1/1s.
I must get out of here. Now easy on the hands, they're new.
Sure.
Why?
Okay. Grenadier's reasonable here. I think he's played 2 Valkyries at this point, so he's probably pretty safe, and that he can also block these fearsome units. Not real excited about running it into the 1/1, but it's okay to just leave him back to block. And I want to hold on to the Jerry Rig because we have all these forced discard cards. We can't really do anything here, so I think we'll just pass. Really need some of our top end. Yeah, see, this is not hitting anything on that Experimenter is going to end this one. We just can't beat this card. This is what I was saying. This is why this deck's trouble is if we aren't, we did have a bit of time there to where we could be doing Jinx stuff, but just never drawing Jinx was a bit of a problem, or a second Yipp just to get something on board. But I mean, let's see, we can do 6, 8 to face, so we may be able to bring him down before this stuff kills us. It's pretty big stretch. Okay, we'll just be dead here. If we have to spend 3 Mystic Shots on this, we're just going to lose anyways. But yeah, that is kind of the downside to being a damage-based removal deck, is we can't deal with like his big cards if we aren't keeping a Yipp or a Jinx on board. Because our power spike comes in the mid game. We're kind of playing the same game there early, and I think we were doing it better than them as far as controlling the board, but then we didn't hit our power spike, they did. It's okay. Let's see, we don't have Jinx or Yipp, so we'll just fold mulligan. In these spots, I like to lead with the Warden's Prey. The Aristocrat is easily our weakest 1-drop, and this is actually what I'm considering. Maybe remove 1 for another Ravenous Butcher. But he easily feels like the weakest one.
The chains, they never stop!
what lurks in the shadows.
Okay, and again we'll make the trade with his 3-2 and Elise if he lets us do it. That's not a huge deal, we aren't in Elise deck. Okay, definitely want to get this dredger down. It can stop this from attacking for the moment. I think we'll dump the aristocrats. I'd rather have the 2-2s. These can battle with his Mistwraiths. Now, I'm not quite willing to play Jinx on our turn. We're definitely going to be getting into combat and probably trading with something, and I don't want her to get black speared. If we had like a trick to where you know, we could fast bow flip her, we'd be okay with that. But I'm not really willing to just run her into black spears. I'm sure that's fine. Get the more damage down, and then we'll just open attack on our turn. Reasonable pickup.
Gotta get out of here!
Oh, we'll play the aristocrat this turn because I'll want to bank the full spell mana.
What's that noise?
We could have played Jinx there, but I feel a little safer with them not being able to work around her.
Stands for Jinx? Durr.
Oh, I should have killed one of these. That was definitely a mistake. I shouldn't have taken that 4 damage. He has played one Mark of the Isles, but I'm still kind of scared to be attacking with Jinx. We really aren't doing anything if something goes wrong with Jinx. Okay, that's fine. I can't remember the suite of combat tricks that they play. But I am okay with just popping this with the Experimenter. And that'll put a Death Rocket in our hand, since it's this empties your hand before you draw them. Sure. So, are we willing to attack with Jinx now? I don't think so, but I'm still going to attack with everything else.
But my experiments.
We can't cast the Death Rocket if we get it, but there is a pretty reasonable chance we can play it next turn.
Many questions.
Okay, that was a pretty good pickup. Hecarim does cause problems, and we can't do anything about it. So we'll just pass here. We do still have to worry about Black Spear with this board. Unfortunately, let's see. can't block with this. We're gonna spend 5 mana and then Death Rocket him. But I do have to block some of this other stuff. I'm really worried about Jinx getting Black Speared here, but I don't think there's anything we can do about that.
Less thinking,
You can
more
block here, you can block here.
Please, I have connections!
Because I want to spend all my spells on Hecarim. So I can kill him on our turn with a Death Rocket. Or are we just going to 3 to face? That takes down the number of Death Rockets we need to 1. Not real stoked about this. Okay, she didn't die. She might get Vile Boosted or something though. This is pretty scary for Jinx. I just don't think we can quite risk going to face. We aren't guaranteed to play a Death Rocket on his turn. Oh, she's gonna die. Yeah. Now we don't really have any good draws from this point forward. We like really need to draw Augmented Experimenter. He's really like the only draw we had here. I should have just not blocked with Jinx. But Hecarim's such a pain in the ass to deal with.
I gotta get out of here!
Alright, that's gonna do it for this one. Okay, and the Fiora deck. Fiora is a bit worrisome because we play so many garbage units that's easier for her to just try to like OTK your Warden's Praise and things. But we do have a lot of interaction with her outside of combat. And again, we're just going to full mulligan because we don't have Jinx or Yipp.
I brought my books. Hope that's all right.
Okay, we can get the Dredger in. He should be a good attack most of the time.
Let's test my theorem.
Okay, cool.
Pledge yourself to the shadows.
We're going to want to hold on to the Aristocrat so we can do things with Yipp. I'm okay with just losing a Academic here to... Well, we can probably just let the Zed flip. It's kind of scary against the Fiora deck. Okay. That changes things.
Nothing but a footnote. My writing.
I'm still going to open attack here. I don't want to play the Aristocrat. We can do Yipp things with him. And I do want that 3 spell mana banked up for these Get Exciteds that we're going to have. Let's assume he never blocks here.
Punish.
Does. Okay. When you do have this come up to where you just have a shitload of Jinxes in your hand, you can be a lot more aggressive with your Jinxes in combat, because they have to invest so much into... Is that a burst? Shit. We can try to kill it next turn. See if he just open attacks. We get blown out if he has like a riposte or something here. But he might try to play stuff first. I definitely want to get a guy on board to block Zed with. And we can just discard our whole hand to... I should have played the Aristocrat probably. Just to pull up a second blocker for later.
They won't suffer long.
Okay, so... we want to block this, and then if he has riposte, do we die? That would be 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so we're going to have to block with Jinx and hope that he just doesn't... but I don't think we can ever win the game if our Jinx dies here. So maybe he'll just have barrier kind of card. I'll accept that we lose to riposte.
We're doing it!
But I mean, if he just has like the 3 mana burst give barrier, then we'll still be at 2 and we'll have a pretty good death rocket on our turn. But like, what do we do if like this goes wrong and we block with Jinx? We've just lost the game anyways. But there are combat tricks for him that don't work here. That's okay. We're not dead. We're probably out of the game, but we're not dead here. And I wish that wasn't putting a card in my hand. I really don't want this. I'd much rather have the 1/1 in play.
Now it's a party!
Let's get this guy down. We're gonna have to get excited on it, Zed.
My life for the Order.
I think we have to attack with Jinx.
Come on, Fishbones! I don't want to!
We should be in a play. If he gives 3 health, then she should still first strike it down. 7, and if he takes this full thing, okay. So deny is a problem, but otherwise, just death rocket threat. Alright. I don't have enough. Fuck me. Fuck. I don't. Okay, we're not dropping. We need to get excited. Okay, we just lost. Damn. I could have done that differently. Like, I could have put the +3/+3 on Jinx and then get excited during combat. But then he has the opportunity to block at that point. But if he didn't block her... Maybe should have played that. I didn't count my mana there. That's okay. Let's get one more game in here for the 5th one. I feel like we definitely could have won that game. I didn't play that final turn correctly. And kind of the same deck here. Yeah. Hecarim Zed Spiders deck. And again, no 4-drops, so we'll get rid of the whole thing. Yeah, we could have played that one a little bit differently and probably won.
Bring me tea to gain the strength of rivers.
I probably should have led with the Aristocrat and butchered it. Let's see. I assume he never takes this trade. Yeah, that was a bad start. I should have played the Aristocrat and butchered it. I'm only playing one of these. I'm not quite familiar with how these play out all the time. Got the Shark Chariot deck. Cool.
Come closer. I don't bite.
Let's just take the value block here. I'm not going to be playing like damage spells. I think it's okay to get this Elise in like this. Okay. I think our units should be bigger than what he's doing. Spectral Riders, okay.
What's that noise?
Weak will.
That's fine. This isn't the end of the world. We really just need to be drawing a 4-drop here.
My training is unconventional.
I assume that's like a Zed he's been boosting in his hand. It's his second mentor and we haven't seen the bonus unit.
Let's get those shortcuts.
I am the blade.
Okay, he's tapped out, so we should just be able to battle this thing down.
Anything helps.
I want to cycle this. We really need to be finding our 4-drops. Okay, so you're blocking here, you're getting boosted, he's tapped out, so we're going to kill Zed. I'm going to put this in front of something because I want to draw a card. And then the one I care about these least, I really want to protect my life total. We'll get rid of this one. The Battle Feast. I'll just go ahead and spend this. Get the unit on board. Want to open attack with this thing gone, but this can go poorly. If we draw Get Excited here, we can't play it. If we draw Sun Drencher, we can't play it. These discard things can be quite awkward. And the same thing kind of applies here, but I do want to get Warden's Prey online. Just to block and get his last breath.
Careful. You don't know what's out there.
See the awkwardness. We can't play this now. And it's like now if we draw Jinx, we can play her but can't flip her because of this thing.
Shadow approaches.
Okay, so he's going to be hitting with 6 dudes here. This is getting out of hand.
I have many.
I want to put as much damage as we can on Hecarim so we can kill it if we hit a Get Excited. And then I'll just block. I'm going to be blocking with everything but Elise. So you can block here.
Please, I have connections.
Block
I
here,
wanna
here,
go home.
here.
All for the best, my pet. You dare!
Not quite what we were looking for, but we can just play the Drencher now. Let's see what happens here. I mean, we can pause a little bit and then attack with Elise and see if he tries to get a value block with Hecarim. It's pretty dangerous for him. It's not good. Need a Jinx stat. Or the 3 damage thing. That is not what we wanted. Like Experimenter would have been great, or Jinx. One of those 2 draws there would have been gotten us back in this game. I think we're just too far behind now.
Or peace.
Yeah, his Hecarim's gonna pop. This game's over. But this is why we hard mulligan for Jinx at the beginning of the game. Oh, is he gonna play something first? I can pop Hecarim, that would be sick. And the thing with this combat as well is whenever they attack with the Hecarim and he flips, if he dies mid-combat, his units do lose this +2 attack. It's like a... Okay, like that's a static ability. It's not a permanent, or like permanent for the turn. But we're gonna get blasted by Zed, and they're gonna be boosted with... It's gonna be Zed and a Shark Chariot boosted from this. Not a great spot for us. P10. We'll hang on to Elise. She's not really doing anything, but may be able to get a Spiderling to block with and do a little bit of damage to one of these to bring down the Vile Beast or something.
You won't suffer long. Be still now.
Okay. So we'll hang on to the feast. It can't block, but it can stop. Oh, it's not going to stop Shark Chariot. But I need to play it now. This game is pretty much over. We can't stop this double Chariot attack next turn. But yeah, that'll do it.
Kindle anew.
Got a bit of time here. Let's go ahead and get a 6 game. I usually just like to do 5, but let's do one more battle. Okay, there's a Jinx and Yipp. I think we can keep this whole thing. I'm not usually super stoked about leading with these aristocrats, but I think it'll be okay. I'd rather have him to play than mulligan and miss.
What's that noise? I must get out
Almost
of
skipped
here.
it. Manage that once a video as well. I'm not real sure what direction they take when they're playing this. I mean, it looks, clearly to be a Yasuo deck since it has Katarina in it, but I'm not quite familiar with exactly what this guy's trying to do. Okay, I want to get this Dredger online. I just want... Or no. Let's just attack. Because I'm wanting to get the Jury Rig bonused on from the Von Yipp.
The order
Sure.
rewards its faithful.
Bank all that mana.
The dark beckons.
Okay, we'll let him attack first and then we'll play Von Yipp afterwards. I assume seeing these Shadow Assassins is just some kind of combo deck, unless he just has like a really awkward draw.
Quite right, quite right.
here, assuming he doesn't like recall Yipp, we'll be looking to play both the Sump Dredger. We'll discard Jerry Rig, attack with everything but Yipp. That'll let us get in an attack with an Elise, and then have bonuses across the board. But yeah, Will of Ionia is fine. Let's see if we can at least get a combat here.
Oh, I see.
Be really willing to spend this Mark of the Isles so we can stun Elise. That's okay.
A foray into the field? How exciting!
Then I just have to assume we're going to get a pretty good attack here. He's going to have to do a lot of blocking, I think. I think if he tries to, get a value block on one of these units, the Mark of the Owl should be good. I don't think we really need to try to combat his Zed here.
I must get out of here!
Just as I hypothesized.
This isn't part of the training!
Okay.
You dare!
He should be close to lethal on our turn. This Mark of the Isles might be able to get him.
Don't let the fluffy tails
Sure.
fool ya.
Four or less. What are we... we're going to have to be able to deal with this thing. So I think we can burst. We have to do this. We have blockers, and then we can play Jinx behind. It's not the end of the world to block with a Jinx and have her die here. The big problem is we have to be able to deal with, or block this 9/3.
Cannot hide.
Pick on someone your own speed.
I'm not willing to just take that big blast of damage. Do have Get Excited. But would I rather just Get Excited face? Probably. We're just going to open attack on our turn. Then we should be able to get him with Get Excited and Death Rocket. So actually, that's fine. Let's play the Warden's Prey.
Careful.
We can get another unit in. We can attack with everything except Elise now. I guess a lot of this comes down to if we draw a unit or not. Vile Feast. Okay. So you, all of you.
We could use a bite.
Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I can't Death Rocket. I always think that whenever this flips, you just get a Death Rocket. That's clearly not the case. This should murder his board, though.
It's too late for you.
Oh, it's on.
You cannot escape.
If he takes 4, we'd be 1 short.
It's too late for you.
Okay. Let's see what he plays. I'm pretty sure we're just gonna have to Get Excited his twirler. Sure. So we can do 1 damage to it. This is gonna flip our Jinx, and then she should 5 quick attack this down.
Tribute to the spider god.
Okay, good deal. Depending on what we draw on our turn, we are just repping lethal with a death rocket now. There's no board. I mean, this should be game here.
Now it's a party.
I am the blade in the darkness.
Okay. Don't think he can kill us with 1 mana.
Nothing but a footnote.
Okay, 6, 8. Death Rocket will get us up to 10, so we can do everything. I assume he's just dead, but this is the safer way to do it.
I'm on the verge of something. What science without a little risk? The order.
Oh, we didn't hit a Death Rocket. Why not? She was already flipped. And that thing discards your hand? I don't know why we didn't pick up a Death Rocket there. Oh, we flipped her in that combat, didn't we? Oh, we drew 2 cards a turn. I don't know. I wasn't paying enough attention. I got into this game's over autoplay mode and I didn't fully pay attention to it. But yeah, it was a decent little run. I think we went 3-3 with this one, but that could have been, 4-2 had we not messed up that game. I'll put the deck list in the comments, and you can kind of see here. I was okay with Ravenous Butcher. I'm not really excited about this Hapless Aristocrat. He feels like kind of, like the worst unit there is here. But looking at the 1-drop units, there's just not really any better choices. Like, I would actually consider Teemo if we weren't at 6 of 6 champions. And then things like your other choices, Daring Poro. I don't, we're doing ephemeral things, so I don't want this. The Poros, just not playable. You can skip for them. I don't like the Urchin. If you're playing kind of like, you see a lot of Super JJ playing the Draven Jinx deck. I'm pretty sure he plays the Urchin, but they're also playing the full complement of Jury Rigs and Flame Chompers. And I don't like having too many of these forced discard cards. Excuse me, and so it's kind of one of these things. Maybe it's more correct to play like 2 and 2, not so much like 3 and 1. But he's okay. But yeah, this is kind of the card I'm looking at removing right now. But otherwise, I'm pretty happy with the whole list. As usual, I'll get the deck code down in the comments. And I hope you enjoyed watching. Thank you much.